Smitty, I'll get the perfunctory out of the way. Saying trip to Auckland's on the agenda. How many boys are you bringing, health and fitness-wise? Is everyone that we expect to be available still available?
Yep. To be honest, we trained Monday, Tuesday, had Wednesday off. So we're back in this morning and we'll have another session in Auckland tomorrow night once we arrive. So at this stage, there's no news of anyone being out. So more or less the team and the squad that we had last week.
In terms of the younger bodies of some of the boys, how are they tracking after this busy period? We're now getting back into sort of one game a week. How have they come out the other end of this hellacious run they've been on?
Yeah, really well. Most of those guys, we've been rotating those guys anyway. Some of the younger boys that have made their debuts or started playing A-League minutes, so they're fine, and they had a pretty difficult session on Tuesday anyway, so they've pulled up pretty well so far. They're young, enthusiastic, it gives us a hell of a lot of energy as well, so at this stage everything's fine.
And I guess on the flip side of that, guys like Stevie and Aziz had to step up and play a lot of minutes in these past few weeks as their senior compatriots went down. How have they pulled up from the long run of games?
Yeah, they were quite sore actually after the Brisbane game, as you'd imagine. You know, Callum, Nate, Stevie, Kai. Although we rested Sammy, Aziz, Harry, they've played a hell of a lot of minutes as well. So it's normal that they were a little bit tired and sore, and we've just managed their loads Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday we did some tactical work and then gave them the rest of the session off. They had tomorrow off. They were feeling quite good on Tuesday anyway, so I think just that little bit of extra recovery for them and the day off yesterday. They've come in this morning, pretty chirpy, so I think they'll be absolutely fine.
And this weekend, City versus Auckland, it's first versus third, and I guess, is it too early to describe this as a 6-pointer yet?
Yeah, I think so. Look, we know the team that they are, very strong, very, very well coached. They're big boys, they're physical, they play decent football, quick football, so it's going to be a difficult game, and always over there, it's you're always under some sort of pressure anyway. But we're in pretty good shape ourselves. I think if we continue to do what we've been doing over a long period this season, then gives us always a good chance, to be honest, Joey. So we know the enormity of the task, but I think for me it's not a 6-point game. For me, it's another game that we're going away from home. We've got a pretty good record, to be honest, away from home. And I think for us, the next 3 games, because we have away to Auckland, away to Macarthur, a bye again, and away to Adelaide. So those 3 games will probably set our season up, I'd say.
How do you imagine they'll set your season up, just in terms of laying the table for the boys to come back and for you to go on a real run? How are you envisioning those 3 games?
Yeah, a bit of both. Up to this point, we haven't had, the guys that have been now injured for quite a while, we haven't had them in. So the guys that have come in have done a great job, and we expect that same intensity from them. We expect the same enthusiasm from them. And in terms of what I said, in terms of those 3 games, it'll tell us if we're going to be there or thereabouts, or we're going to fade away. That's really what it boils down to. And I just expect us to be super competitive like we have been. And if we do that, then we're always a good shot. So that's what I expect, and that's what you should see anyway.
And Auckland's, we saw your previous game with them, a game characterised by maybe defensive errors from both sides, mistakes from both sides leading to goals in that second half. But what were some of the lessons from that game which you can now implement on the weekend?
I think we had a very, very strong first half, and we faded again in the second half, and probably up to that point we'd been fading in some games, but we sort of fixed that in terms of just being able to keep the ball a lot more, and that's what we didn't really do against Auckland in that second half. We rushed. We in those certain moments where we could have had a little bit more composure, we just kicked the ball anywhere. And you need to be confident. You need to be brave. You need to, without panicking in a way, when you're under some sort of pressure, you just need to calm yourself and be calm in those moments. And I think that'd probably be one area I'd say that we generally come up against those moments anyway in every game, but in those moments we just need to be a little bit more calmer, have a little bit more composure. And if we can do that and control the game and control those moments, then that puts us in a better position.
Coming into that game, Auckland's were on that great winning run, but that draw with you kickstarted a run of 5 games where they've only won once over that stretch. Do you think anything's changed with Auckland over the past month, or is this more so the coin flip nature of A-League fixtures? They're just on the wrong end of them now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I still think they're exactly the same team that they were when they first started the first game, round 1 against Brisbane at home, and they're a physical side, they're the good footballing side, they're big guys. As I said, they're well coached. They're in front of their home fans, which always gives them an extra leg. So I don't think much has changed. I think every team at some stage in the course of a season goes through a period, 3, 4, 5 weeks where you're playing pretty well, but you're not getting results, and that could happen. We had a period 3 weeks, 4 weeks where we were just drawing and not getting over the line, or it could have gone either way. It's not so much the nature of the A-League. I think it's just the nature of what happens in terms of performance in the course of a season. It's very, very difficult to be super, super consistent, that you're just winning every game, and you're at the highest level of performance all the time. It just doesn't happen. And you saw that also when we get these games in quick succession through the Christmas and the New Year period. You can never be at your very best because of fatigue. So there's always a little bit of fatigue hanging around, and that could happen. And then the travel is never easy anyway. So they had to get to Perth. They have to come back. That's never an easy trip as well. We all have to go through that at some stage, and you get a period where you have, 3 or 4 games at home where, you don't have to worry about travel, you don't have to worry about sleeping in a hotel, and we've had that period the last few games at home where it's nice and comfortable, but now we have to get ready for what's going to be a pretty difficult period for us for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
And just switching gears a moment, mate, I don't have to speak about in the hypothetical about the transfer window anymore. It's open now. We saw Alex Gersbach arrive at the Wanderers overnight. Is there any move in the incoming lounge at Melbourne City?
No, nothing for us at the moment, Joey, and I'm sure if there is, you'd be the first to know. But all pretty quiet here. I think West Sydney, I think that's a great signing. Gersbach is a really nice player, and I think that's a nice bit of work from them.
Is it a case sort of where you like the cliche always is a returning injured player is as good as a new signing, but is that really the attitude you're adopting? Like you're talking to these boys like you're our big mid-season signings and you're going to get us over the top sort of mindset?
Well, look, it's obvious when you're missing someone like Aleki, Attilio, and our foreigners as well. We've been a little bit unlucky in that area as well. But obviously they're pretty big ins. They're not, they're not just untried players. They're guys that have been around for a long time, European experience, national team experience. So, they're big outs at the moment, and obviously they're going to be big ins when they come in. So, but also when they come back in, Joey, it always they can't hit the ground running straight away. They've been out a number of weeks without group training, without fierce competition, and it always takes a couple of weeks to get back into the swing of things. but we're obviously looking forward for the moment that they come back.
And just on those, last one from me, they haven't had any setbacks in the past week. They're still tracking well in their rehab.
No, really well. Lex has been training with the group for the last three weeks, on and off. We just modify him at some points. Tilio joined the group this week. Max Caputo trained with the group on Monday, and they're all tracking well. And it's just now finding a moment. And I would generally say probably, generally I'd like to think after a bit of period of time that they've been out like that, a couple of weeks joining with the group so they don't miss any group sessions would be quite normal. So I'd be surprised anything this week, but probably more optimistic for the Macarthur game.